AI is often described as something alien. However, I prefer to think about it as us in aggregate. It's a monumental collective accomplishment, trained on all of the human knowledge that's archived online. Humans should get more credit, and we're working on that.
One thing that I love for the broader public to understand better about AI is that AI, like many other forms of technology, is a tool for humanity. It's not inherently good or bad in the same way that a shovel or a pickaxe isn't good or bad. But it's about the way we use the technology and make sure that it's used for the right purposes in order to promote and push forward progress. That is where the consequences and potentially a lot of the upside comes as well.
AI will impact almost every job out there in the next 5 to 10 years. But at the same time, that doesn't mean AI is conscious, has a mind of its own, is an existential threat to humanity, because no one is working on AI doing whatever it wants. Mostly it's about people and the systems and the frameworks and the data that they use in AI and that the AI is part of that we have to worry about, less the AI itself.
Instead of thinking that AI is some abstract thing in the sky or in the cloud that operates without any human intervention, especially when we think about the goals of AI systems, they're all specified by humans. And so our ability to control or reduce some of the concerns that folks have around AI are really achievable by working on what a lot of people in the field are calling alignment.
I think that AI is often portrayed as a black box, and I wish people understood that we can actually open up this box and get a clear picture of the decision-making processes in AI models. It's not magic, really. It's just well-crafted algorithms that are used to explain patterns in large scales of data that humans just can't always manually identify.
I think there's going to be a lot of opportunism and fraud, and there's a lot of people going around now claiming that they're building these incredible AI systems or that the capabilities are far beyond what they are, and I think that's a real concern, especially in high-value fields like medicine or autonomous vehicles. I think it's going to be really important for us to have a discerning eye about the claims that people are making and for people to be thoughtful about these things, because fraud will happen, there will be opportunists, and it will set the field and ultimately society back quite a bit.
I think the attention economy has been net negative for culture and for people's sanity. My concern is that with generative AI driving down the cost and skill level necessary to produce generic media, these dynamics may get a lot worse. Populist media figures or influencers could become the best-selling author, painter, and music producers of all time by combining a really large audience with access to aggregated human knowledge on that subject. If we don't develop more immunity to attention games, I worry where we're headed.
What keeps me up at night in terms of the broader picture of AI progress is making sure that we build technology systems that are usable by everyone. We have a big thesis at MoonHub about building systems and technology that is built for the 7 billion people on the planet, as opposed to, the couple 100,000 people in Silicon Valley.
The bigger the impact is, the more careful we have to be. The bigger the scale is, the more careful we have to be. So, for instance, when you have a self-driving car company, we should have some regulation to not just let any random self-driving car drive around. It's a scary transition for sure. Same way, healthcare, we need to make sure AI is trained on a bunch of different types of humans and different types of people in order for it to work for everyone equally well.
We just really need to make sure that bias is minimized, privacy is upheld, the decision-making processes of AI are just truly transparent. And we have to strike a balance between innovation and ethical considerations so that we can truly guarantee AI is used for the greater good.
I actually like her quite a bit. It's a little bit more subdued than Terminator or something, which is unfortunately very popular with a lot of people, and they're really think that this is the most likely future. I think her is great because, one, it shows that humans can build connections to AI.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi.
I think it's interesting that the AI didn't have to have a human physical embodiment to have a lot of signs of intelligence. And it was also interesting in the sense that, and sorry, it's a spoiler alert, ultimately the AIs wanted to just talk to themselves because they're more interesting. Human language, very much by the nature of how humans can process it, is very sequential. You can't have 10 different conversations at the same time. Humans are not that good at multitasking, but AIs can and could, and you can have two AIs talk 50,000 conversations at the same time. So yeah, I'm very excited about that future of just AIs becoming smarter and smarter. But again, it's sci-fi. It's not something that's around the corner.
Personally, my favorite science fiction trilogy of all time is The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu. While it's not directly about AI, I think Cixin makes a really potent argument about the discovery of new technological systems and how when these systems are discovered, there are tremendous social ramifications beyond the direct impact of the technology itself. And I think this is going to be true with AI as well. Already we see China and the US in somewhat of an AI's arms race. And I believe that just like with, let's say, nuclear weapons, or in the sci-fi novel The Three-Body Problem, with many of these sort of physics-oriented technologies, there will be a similar geopolitical consequence of AI that will be much more profound than we currently think. That geopolitical consequence is not going to be a direct effect of the AI going rogue and performing actions that we as a society don't want it to do, but I think it is actually much closer than the potential for a bad AI to go rogue, and could be just as acute for society if we don't handle those consequences properly.
Ari Folman's film The Congress, which modified Stanislav Lem's The Futurological Congress, depicts an actress who signs away her identity to a film studio and kickstarts a media landscape of infinite derivative media in her image. It was released 10 years ago and really gets a lot right about our current predicament.
A book that represents the most likely AI future for me is called Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. The book portrays a world in which AI companions enhance human lives, and for me, it's a realistic depiction of how AI will be integrated into our daily routines while preserving our distinct human qualities and emotions like empathy. I appreciate that it doesn't really talk about a future with robot uprisings or a loss of jobs, and focuses more on how AI will improve human lives. I think that it also acts as a reminder that we have to make sure our values and ethics do remain at the forefront of AI adoption.
There's no particular book, but what I'd say is the optimistic view here is that we're going to create a tremendous amount of abundance, and that's going to lead to a world where people have most of what they need without necessarily having to work for it. It's just going to be a baseline that's provided to people if we can figure out the social and technological pieces in conjunction with each other. So I'm really excited about my science fiction view of the world and of the future, which I know an increasing number of people are sharing, which is in the future, it's going to be possible for most people on Earth, or everybody on Earth, to have everything they need.